Tennessee with a degree in business administration, concentrated in finance. He started out his career with Country Financial in 2009 as an agency owner, just like a lot of you, and he was a rep until 2016 before becoming a district leader in the Tennessee district within Market 6. He has a lot of accolades and awards, and in 2010, as a rep, he got New Employee Rep of the Year for the Southern office. And in 2011, 23, and 24, he was on the National Advisory Committee member. He has 7 All-Star qualifier and 6 All-American qualifiers. He even got back from our All-American trip in Athens, Greece recently. That's awesome. I hope you had an amazing time, Tyler. He has been married to his wife, Berkeley, for over 13 years, and he has 2 kids, Ava and Parker. He loves to be outdoors, playing softball, eating in those triathlons, camping, hiking, fitness. His motto in life is work hard, work harder. In regard to community involvement, he is in the Williamson County Chamber of Commerce member and also a BOD member of a nonprofit called Stronger Than My Father, which is an organization who helps boys in our community without those father figures in their homes or in their lives, and is also an active church member at the Church of the City in Franklin, Tennessee. So without further ado, I am going to hand the reins over to Tyler to talk to you about being a business owner, starting out with Country Financial, and some tips and tricks to succeed in the field. Tyler, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And really excited to be here and share with you guys this morning. So just want to say good morning and congratulations. I know that you guys are on the tail end of your training, and I know it's been a long, hard month. So we'll try to make sure we stay on time, and hopefully you guys inspired, motivated. This is really this call today to go out and let you guys hit the ground running and continue to build your agencies. First of all, just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity, for all the training team. Give me the privilege and honor to be here. I will tell you guys that there have been so many people in my career, big country, who have played such a big role in my success. Many mentors and colleagues and other friends that have become closer like family have played such a huge role in my success. And that's one thing I really appreciate most about our organization is everyone here is so willing to pay it forward and give back. And so I'm always honored about the opportunity to try to do that, try to help anyone else that I can, because I've had so many people that poured into me and made such an impact in my career. I wouldn't be standing here in front of you today if it weren't for all of them. So real quick, if you guys don't care in the chat, if we have an active chat, if you could just type in, just so I can get an idea of the experience level of who I'm talking to, if you just type in how long you've been in the insurance world or industry, if you are coming from a previous company, or if you're brand new, just type in brand new. I just want to get an idea of where we're at as far as tenure in the industry. And while you're doing that, like Nicole mentioned, I actually started with Country. I graduated from University of Tennessee. I already got all my P&C license, Series 6 and 63. I graduated on a Saturday from UT, and literally that following Monday morning, I was in my office, shirt and tie. I had no clue what I was doing. I was 23 years old. I had a manager that was a great guy, but he was not super engaged. He was about 2 hours away from me, and I was clueless. So I wanted to know if you used to actually go to the home office for 2 weeks during Cal School, so you guys can lucky that you're doing everything virtual. But this is my new age picture going to Cal School. So if that kid can make it with bangs and as goofy as I was, just proves to you like you work hard and you put the effort in, and you will have success in this industry, in this role. If I could have made it back then, then I promise you all of you can. So again, just want to say congratulations and welcome. This is an exciting time for you guys. You are starting an amazing career with, in my opinion, the absolute number one company out there. And as you guys will probably be able to see and pick up on it, I'm bleed green. I'm a company man. I believe in country, like deep down in the core. And that's not because I am a corporate employee. It's simply because I've been here for a long time and I've seen how country continues to be there for our agents and continues to be there for us, our employees, our communities. If we do things a little bit different and we take care of people better than anybody else, if I didn't really believe that, I wouldn't still be here, and I wouldn't be fighting for a lot of individuals like all of you here Tennessee to get them to come and start a career in country. So, again, exciting time. Welcome to the country, and then just really excited for all of you on as you embark on your new role and hopefully a long time successful career as an agency owner. So it looks like we've got a mixed bag of experience. Some brand new, some 7 or 8, 9 years. So that helps me out, kind of know where to really get on. So a few things I'm going to be talking to you about: critical success factors, how the sales process tools have helped our agents here at Tennessee as they come through. Things for me to your success. Really, again, I'm going to be speaking more of the agents I've worked with in the past. I'm not necessarily not how do you stay motivated and then staying organized and establish good habits. And then we'll wrap up with some of the things I wish I would have known when I was 23 with the ball got started career. So critical success factors, you're taking notes. Number one, and this is probably the most important thing I'll tell you today, you get out this put into them. That is a formula that will never ever change more true than any other formula in this entire in this industry. We talk about the 3 I's of this career lines and going through the interview process with candidates. I'm talking to them about income, independence, and impact, right? We all know the income part. You work hard, you can make a lot of money. There's never going to be anyone, as long as you're doing things honestly and ethically, there will never be anyone that comes and says you need to pump the brakes and slow down, right? We want you to continue to have success. You control that based on that. I'm going to skip the independence part and go to the income part. We have the ability, we have a platform to be there to help our clients, right? We get to put our Superman capes on. We get to show up when they're going through their absolute worst moments in life and be there to help them put their lives back together. Whether that's auto, commercial, home, car, life insurance, when we lose a loved one, like we get to be the ones that can help people put their lives back together. So we make a tremendous impact on the clients, prospects we work with, but we also get back and make a big difference in our communities, right? So going back to the independence part, by far, in my opinion, the best benefit of this role, right? You guys are independent contractors. You're never going to have anyone to tell you when to be at your office, when you can go to lunch, what you have to do all day, when you can leave, when you can take a vacation. You control all of that, right? And so that's one of the things that I love most about this career, but I'll tell you that that's also probably the number one thing that drives some people out of this career, because they can't control that, they can't be disciplined, and that freedom and flexibility. So a lot of you who've been in the industry, who've been commission only, you guys will understand what I'm talking about here, but we always say that work here is a verb, not a noun, right? Work is something that you do, it's not a place that you go, and you have to be very disciplined and control your time. So I'll be the first to tell you, my family, I love to travel. We love to play. We're going on 4 or 5 vacations this year. My family is the absolute most important thing to me. And I never, ever, ever miss anything important going on in my family's career. The donuts and dads, the school plays, the sporting events, and vacations and everything. Like, I'll never miss any of those important things. But I'm also not home every single night to help get dinner made and get the kids in bed, right? Most nights, but not all nights. Oftentimes, I've got my computer out after the kids go to bed, trying to work, trying to get cleaned up from the week or the day. Sometimes it requires you to work on weekends, and sometimes you have to do that. But that allows you to be able to truly put your priorities straight and live a life that reflects what your priorities are. But again, like, you get out when you put in, right? So if you're willing to put the effort in, if you're willing to put the hours in. I'm usually recommending our new agents, probably be looking at somewhere between 50 and 60 hours a week at the beginning. And that's not your entire career. The bad news is you're probably going to be a little overworked and underpaid at the beginning. And if you think about starting any other kind of business, that's going to be the exact same case, right? The good news is that if you put the work in, if you put the effort in the beginning, then you eventually get to the point where, I don't want to say overpaid and underworked, but we have a lot of very, very successful agency owners here in the country that aren't putting 50, 60 hours a week into their business, right? So if you do this business right and put the work in the beginning, you're always building on what you've done in the previous years, right? So theoretically, you should never have a year where your income goes backwards, because you're always building on what you did the previous previous year, the previous 5 years, the previous 10 years. So there's a lot to look forward to. Don't let that be different for you, but I think just know that like you've got to put the work in and pay your dues in the beginning. If you do that, you can be thankful when you get to that 2 or 3 year break-even point. Okay, and the whole concept of getting out and put in, right? That's going to hold true in every area of your business. So that's your processes, your systems. That's you going out, getting involved in your community, your COI development, making sure that you always have your funnel full, especially your product knowledge, industry knowledge. So you've got to make sure that you're investing the time and energy to educate yourself on our products, on our industry, and a good conversation that will increase your experience probably faster than anything, and which is ultimately going to lead to increasing confidence in your conversations as well. Okay, so number 2, don't try to do this business alone. This is a really hard industry, and we all knew this signing up. Hopefully, your district leader told you this is going to be hard. If this was easy, we'd have people lined up on the door, and I just looked out the window and there's no one out there. Anything worth having is not going to come. So I think just knowing that, and also don't try to reinvent the wheel. We have a lot of people in the country, but like I said earlier, that's very willing to get back and help you. So I would encourage you to really lean in to other people that are having success that are around you. So if you ways you can do that, one joint work. We recommend all of our new agency owners to come in to run their first 10 to 20 appointments, depending on their experience level, with either myself or an experienced agent here in Tennessee. And that's not because they're not good for our clients or they're not knowledgeable in the industry, but that's because we do things a little bit different here. And the agents and myself who they're working with have done this hundreds, if not thousands of times, right? So it's just a good way to learn. We also have our new agents go out and shadow about 8 times in the first 90 days. And that's just going out to a successful agent's office, just sitting in their office for an entire day. They get to listen and hear and see appointments run, cars that are run. They get to see all the process systems, how they have their office set up, key numbers. And I would encourage all of you to do that. Don't try to create things that are already out there that are working, right? Go out and borrow ideas, steal ideas, learn your process, your system, tactics or strategies of other people that are already doing this with proven success. And don't feel bad about stealing those because more than likely they probably stole from somebody else at some time, right? Okay, so fact number 3, activity focused on production focus. So we have a bad tendency to get in this business, just want to focus on emissions, production, and focus on the scoreboard. But we try to really hone in on that activity, right? So I would encourage all you guys, if you haven't done this, to figure out what your goals are. How much money do you want to make? What does that mean in terms of production for your property, casualty, commercial, farm, life, financial? Start working things backwards, but that's usually when most of our agency owners will stop, right? They know what their goals are. And they say, let's go out and work hard and hopefully we hit them, right? Or I would encourage you to take a little bit step further and figure out, okay, what are the inputs that you need to put into your agency, your business every single day and every single week that are going to lead to those production standards, your goals, right? So I'll give you an example. Your phone calls, your appointments per week, your COI nurturing activities, so coffees and lunches, where you're going out to work lenders and realtors. How many times a week do you need to do all those things? How many times a day? How many phone calls do you need to make every single day? When you get into that rhythm where you are focused on your production, we often see the cycle, right? So we're ramping up, we're making a lot of phone calls, we're going out networking, we're getting in front of a lot of people, having a lot of appointments, and our production is going up. And then we lose that sense of urgency for all the activity stuff, the phone calls, the networking, the COI development. And then we funnel all that business through, get it all through the system, and then we're sitting there, all of a sudden we have 0 people in our funnel, and we're like, okay, now what do we do, right? So then you have to start all that back over again and start all of your networking and your COI development and all the stuff. And if you're not careful, you'll get into this cycle, right? Where you'll have really good production and it'll fall off. You'll have really good production. And that's usually when we see people get burnt out, right? Momentum is so important in this business. So if you can stay focused on your activity, that leads to those results and make sure that those are non-negotiable every single day and every single week. That will help you create a very consistent, just progress and upward position and create a lot of momentum, which will help you hopefully not be in a position where you're burnt out and you're always fighting for that emotional cycle. Number 4, relationships, not transactions. I always tell our agents here, like, we don't quote, right? We review and we help people. So really focusing in on the face-to-face appointments. I know that sometimes that's difficult. I'm not naive enough to think that every single person is going to sit down with you face-to-face, but I would encourage you to try to get in front of your prospects in a face-to-face capacity of some sort. Prior to COVID, our only option was in person, right? But now, I mean, almost every single person out there can get on a Teams call or a virtual call. So I would encourage you not to just send out quotes of the tell over the phone. I would say you have value, and it's really hard to provide value when you're sending out quotes, right? You need to be in person, not in person, face to face, building the relationship with the clients, getting to know them, figuring out what's important to them, what their needs are, and that's going to help you overcome that price, right? We're just always competing on price. You're going to have a tough time in this industry out here, be your country or any of the other insurance companies out there. But relationships are very important. Okay, and I guess I realize I've got a lot of content here, so we're going to try to race this. I could be with you for 2 hours and never have anything to say. So how does the sales process and tools provided help? How they help our agents in their careers? What I'll tell you is our processes are everything, right? You have to have good processes if you want to have success in this career. So I would really encourage all of you to start evaluating what all your processes are. I'm going to touch on specifically the appointment process. I would encourage you not to fall victim to the industry standard, right? Our industry standard is, let's see if we can save you money on your home auto insurance and make it easy and convenient. That's the messaging that we hear from all of our competitors on all the TV commercials. And unfortunately, our society has come to train. That's what this insurance is all about, right? I would encourage you to break that mold and you be the standard, right? Make it about how we take care of your needs. What is important to you? How can we make sure that you and your family can be okay if something bad happens, right? Again, price is only an issue, the absence of value. Our appointment process, so we have a PowerPoint. We call it, I'm pretty sure this is still around. If it's not, I'd be more than happy to send this out or share with anyone. But we have a PowerPoint that almost every single one of our agents in Tennessee uses and follows when they're getting in front of a new prospect or when they're doing a card. So this is step by step, every single step of the appointment process. And when we use that, one, it's very professional and it helps us create a good flow in the appointment. But we don't have to be thinking about, okay, what's next in the appointment? I need to talk about life. I need to ask for referrals. I need to make sure that I touch on this and this and that. If you follow that process every single time, you don't have to think, you're there, you're more present, you're more engaged in the conversation with your clients. And it allows you to make sure that you are always running consistent appointment, which is going to help you over time, really dial that process in. So I would encourage you to not go out and just wing your appointments. Like if you don't use the PowerPoint or something like that, just know where you're going to go. Use an agenda. Absolute worst case scenario, have an agenda so you make sure you stay on track with all the process. Okay, things that contribute to success, and with myself and all of our other agents we've worked with over the years. So I think it's very, very important to start thinking about building a team early in your career, regardless of if you already have a team, if you've been in this industry for a long time, but you haven't, you need to start thinking about building a team right now. And that's not to say that you may not be ready to or be in a position where you can bring on team members now, but at least be thinking about it, right? If you want to have success in this career, and if you want to continue to win on the comp plan of the country, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for you to do that on your own. But you don't want to get in a position where you're ready to hire a team member and you don't have anyone that you know, right? That you're sending Facebook messages and asking people in the community, and probably make a desperate hire. Usually how it works. So We actually have a CUI tracker, so it helps us just lay out our CUIs, make sure that we're staying in front of them. We also have two tabs on tracker that has associate agent candidates and team member candidates. So we are starting to try to think about and identify who would be a good fit for our team very, very early on in your career. Again, whether you're ready to hire or not. That way, when you are ready, you're in that position. You've got hopefully 15, 20 people you can call and say, hey, I've had you on my list for a long time and thinking about you. I'd love to sit down and talk to you about this opportunity. Number two is the follow-up with CRM. So follow-up is so important. I'm going to kind of define these next two, but just because someone tells you no, that doesn't mean never, right? So making sure that if you're following up with all of your prospects, there's a great book out there. It's called Go for No. It's a really, really good read. I actually had to read that as part of my calendar when I was going through new agent school. But the follow-up is key in this, right? If you don't have a good follow-up process every single month, you're starting at zero, right? And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So let's say you met month one and you have 30 quotes, right? So we know we're going to probably close about 25, 30%. We use 30%. So we close 30%, which means we're going to close approximately 10 of those accounts, right? So that means we have 20 quotes left over that we're going to say, hey, not right now. Thank you for the opportunity. Is it okay if we call you back in 6 months? So we plug them into the CRM. If we do things right, we're going to walk in 6 months. We get our 30 due, and then we're going to have 20 left over that we don't have to do any work for, right? Just pick the phone up and call them. So now we have 50 opportunities. We close 30% of those. That's 15. We have 35 left to carry over the next 6 months, right? We just continue to do that over and over. So hopefully one day, down the road, a year or 2, 5 years down the road, you're walking into your business, you've got 75, 100 people that you can call and quote. And that's probably not you, by the way, that's probably a team member at this point. But you've got 75, 100 people that you don't have to do any work. And you've got 75 opportunities. And that's where I was saying at the beginning, if you do this business right, your income should never go backwards, right? Because you're always building on what you've done in previous years if you have good systems and processes in place. So there probably won't be a lot of people that will tell you and hold you accountable to using our CRM. We're going to get Salesforce next year. I would highly, highly encourage you to make sure that you're utilizing the system that we currently have. It's not perfect, but it is a lot better than nothing. But follow-up is key there, and the consistency. The only thing I'll mention on that is just that, our successful agents, anyone that has success in this world, no matter what industry you're in, it's not 1 or 2 things they do very well. It's the hundreds of things they do every single day, the small things that they never miss. They do consistently every single time, every single day. So just being consistent with everything you're doing in this business is going to help you have success. Okay, so how do you stay motivated? And this is an important one. We're going to breeze through the next few. Have realistic expectations. That the industry is hard. This is a long, slow play. You're not going to have overnight success, right? This is going to be something that takes some time to get developed. When I say know what your expectations are, have realistic expectations, we're going to fail 70% of the time, right? We know we're going to close about 30%, which this means we close 3 out of every 10, right? If you look at a Major League Baseball player and they have the Hall of Fame batting average, that's 300, which means that they get on base 3 times out of every 10 at bats, right? So they get paid millions and millions of dollars to fail 70% of the time. And they're okay with that because that's what's normal for them, right? So know that you're going to fail a lot, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or bad. It just means that you're that much closer to your next yes. But if you don't have that expectation in your head, this industry, that aspect of it will really beat you up emotionally. Feeding your brain positive, just, the people that you surround yourself with, the circles that you're in, like get around people that are looking for success and looking for ways to win. Don't surround yourself with losers and people that are looking for excuses, because people are either going to lift you up or they're going to drag you down. Be around people that are going to lift you up, because we don't work in a super positive industry, right? Your clients call you, it's probably not great news. They're calling you about a claim or a billing issue or something bad going on in their life. So it's really important to make sure you're continuing to feed yourself and your soul with positives and, books and podcasts and anything you can do to get positivity in your life. Okay, and just think focus on the impact too, right? Like what we do is really important and impactful. Stay focused on what good that you're doing for your clients, for your community. That always helps me to stay grounded and sometimes the chaos that get wrapped up in this industry. Staying organized and establishing good habits. Again, just having really good processes in place. I would document everything, right? You document all of your client appointments and contact history. Again, you're not having to start those conversations back over, right? You're just building on the previous ones you've had, either the last time or the last 2 years, 5 years. That can help really develop that relationship well planned. Okay, I know we only have a couple more minutes, so I want to share one thing with you real quick. So, one thing about which I want to know when I was beginning my career, and I would say that I wish that I would have understood and really been able to comprehend the impact we truly make, how important the responsibility that we have as insurance agents, as insurance advisors. What we do is really important. And I think our society has turned insurance agents into just, order takers and, kind of lump this maybe into the used car salesman. Like what we do, we work in a very, very noble profession, guys. And we make a tremendous impact on our clients. And when I first came in and started, it was more about the income for me. But what I was slowly realizing across 16 years here is we have a platform to do a lot of good for people and a lot of good for our communities. This is a study that was done by the Social Security Administration. It basically tracked Americans from the age of 16 to 65. And what this study showed is that 1% or 1% of people, 1% out of every 100 will be wealthy at age 65 in the United States. 4 people out of every 100 will be financially secure. 5% will still be working because they have to, not because they want to. 36 people out of every 100 will have debt where life insurance comes in for us, right? And then 54% of people, so over half the people in the United States, when they reach age 65, will be debt broke, relying on friends, family, or the government, aka living on Social Security benefits alone to try to survive. And guys, that's where we can come in and make a difference, right? We have the financial planning side. Even if you don't have, you're not licensed, just because you're not licensed doesn't mean your client doesn't have a need and need help in that area, right? So we help people have plans put together so more people can be, more than 5% of people in our country can end up wealthier, financially secure. We help them very soon. Right. So what we do can make a major, major difference. And I wish that I would have understood that, believed in what we did and our goal and purpose in this industry more so than I did to accelerate my success. And the last thing I'll leave you with, I apologize, I'm going over here, Cole. Be your own best client. It is really hard, and you don't have any credibility if you're recommending a client a product you don't know or you don't have yourself. And this is not to say you have to have $500,000 invested or be putting in $500 or $1,000 a month into a life insurance policy, but you need to have the products you're recommending that your clients have. And I can't tell you how many times, especially as a young advisor, that I took my life insurance policies out of my folders, I laid them out on the desk and said, what I'm recommending to you is exactly what I owe myself. And if it was something that was out of my league at the time, maybe I'm alive or IUL, whatever it was, I would say, and I have this amount of term in place. And my plan when my income gets to the level that you're at, my plan is to convert this into a life IUL, whatever product is. But umbrellas and all the above, you've got to be your own best client, and it creates a tremendous amount of credibility. You can say, this is what I am, this is what I do, and I'm recommending this to you as well. So be your own best client, believe in what you do, take that responsibility that we have as advisors really serious, because we have the opportunity to make an incredible impact on the clients who work in our community. So sorry for a little bit over, and I'm very passionate about being here, but really excited for all of you. If I can do anything for any of you in the future, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to spend a little time with you or send you any resources that I can to help you have success. But again, congratulations on completing your training, and absolutely best of luck to all of you for it.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Everyone, please give Pace Thunder a round of applause using that react. With that, you are dismissed, everyone, and if you are in the morning session, you're done. Yay! And congratulations.